My name is Adam Tahoon. I'm on the Watt 2.0 team. My product owner is Dr. Mark Finlayson, and my mentor is Dr. Masood Sajadi. For this video, we are going to be going over the installation and maintenance for the Watt application. So I'll just start with from the beginning, which is just cloning the repo. There is a whole README file that will be provided for you in the repo that you can read. So let me just make this bigger. So we're going to go into, so let me remove this. So first thing you want to do is run Git Clone. And that'll start cloning the repo. So it'll take a little bit of time right now because my internet's a little bit slow, but it'll clone the repo, and then we'll have some installations that we need to do, and we'll show how easy it is to get the application running. The one thing though you do need to keep in mind that you should have on your computer is Node. So this is the version of Node I'm running, Npm, which is the package manager for Node. That's the version. Python, and then pip, which is the package manager for Python. So for the Node and Npm version, as well as the pip version, these can be updated. Python version, you do want to keep it 2.7. And that is because if we use Python 3.6, which is the newer version of Python, they will have some errors with print statements. So that is one thing to keep in mind. And the other thing you might want to have installed is Electron Globally. It will install it for you in the package.json if you run npm install, but this is good to have maybe globally. If you go to Electron's website, it's very easy how you download it. You just run npm install, and that'll install, it'll install Chromium and everything that you need. So let's see if it's done. Okay, well, so while that's downloading, and the one other thing that you will need to also clone, and we can go ahead there and do that right now, is the Heroku repo. So I have that right here. So this is the account I have for Heroku. And all you need to do is run Heroku clone Heroku git clone -a and then the repo name. Let's see, I have this written before. There you go. Okay, so that'll clone the repo, and this is our public API that is used for the production level of the application. And then another thing you need to do is, if you go on Heroku.com, you want to download the Heroku command line interface. And that's very simple. All you have to do is follow the steps that come in the Heroku website. And what that will download for you is a command line interface for Heroku. Let's see if I can find there's some documentation. Right now I'm logged into my start, so here we have the Heroku command line interface. And yeah, there's different ways to install it depending on your Mac, on your operating system. I use Brew, which is the package manager for Mac OS. But if you're using Ubuntu or Windows, you just have to follow their steps. And another thing to do is you're going to want to use our account. So for our senior project, we're going to have a senior project email and a password that you log into, and that's how you'll get the repository access for Heroku. Since this video is public, I won't have any information on that, but that will be made available from the product owner, Dr. Mark Finlayson, and with the Cognac Labs. So everything should be done installing. So we have our Heroku repository as well as our Bitbucket repository. So we're going to go into our the Bitbucket repository, and we'll cd into code, and we'll run pip install -r requirements. So this will just start pulling all the requirements you need, and I can really, if you want to see what requirements looks like, it's just a txt file with different libraries to install. I already had these all installed on my computer, so obviously they won't be necessary. They will already be installed, but it might take a little bit more time for you because it's going to start pulling them from the servers and installing them too. And then we're going to go to our local server. So our local server has both content extraction and translation built inside, and we are going to just run pip install -r requirements, and this is kind of a subset of requirements that we need for the app, and that'll be available for if we want to move the server to another repo. And then I'm going to go into what app, and we are going to run npm install. And that's going to install all of the libraries and put them into node modules for the application itself. And if we want to start the application, we'll just run npm run start, and we should have it up and running. So that's it's very easy to get it all up and running, and our application is up. If you want to run the server locally, you just have to go out and then cd into server and run python controller, and now we're running on port 5000 of our local host. So that's everything you need to install it. And now we'll go back and look at the public API, which is right here. So we'll cd into there. So the way you do source control with this is actually with Heroku. So if you want to make some sort of changes, let's say we want to remove this, we can just run git add -all, git commit, add a commit message, and then you push with git Heroku push master. Sorry. There you go. I think that's the proper command. So that's going to start pushing changes, and it'll give you some statements, some logging of what's happening. So it starts compressing the source file, it starts building it, and while that works, I can show you what you need for here. So it's pretty simple. All you need is, what we have is a Flask API, and we have something called a proc file. So if I open this, this is pretty much what is going to be run by the Heroku servers. It's just running Gunicorn app, and that'll spin up the server to be public facing, and it'll provide the endpoint for you that you can hit, and you can test it out however way you want. So you see, look, it's a lot of this different just logging. So yeah, when that's done, we can also show how to look at the logs, which is an important thing to do. And then maybe go into here. As we wait for that, we can go into the code a little bit for Electron application. So one thing I do want to show is that if you want to have some error handling or debugging, we have DevTools up for the Electron application. So all you had to do is comment this out or uncomment this, and then if you run this again, you'll see your inspector up in here. So that's all you need to do to have that up and running. And then the last thing is, if you want to, let's say everything is ready, you want to package it, you have to do a small change. You're going to change the development environment from development to production like this. Save that and then run npm run this. And this will start all the packaging process. And if you want to look more into the packaging process, you can check out package.json. It shows what is run when you run npm run this, and it'll start packaging the app. And then for here, yeah, so look, we have this endpoint that we can hit, and that's how we can hit our API. If I briefly open the logs this way, we can see the state of our application. So the build succeeded. The state has changed from starting to up. It ran this command, gonna-corn. So our API is up and running. It's very simple to do it with Heroku. So that's all you need to do. And yeah, so now it's just packaging for macOS. It's able to identify what operating system you're using and package it for that exactly. And once you have that running, you are just going to find it in here. It's going to make this directory called dist, which is has then the application in here. And upon finishing, you can just open the one application, or you can open the DMG, and the DMG will extract it into your directory. So that's all there is for it. It's pretty simple to get it up and running. Thank you. Once again, my name is Adam Tahoon. This is the Watt 2.0 team. My product owner is Dr. Mark Finlayson, and my mentor is Dr. Masood Sajjadi.